Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to discuss about hypervisor. Okay, so let's consider a machine. So we have this machine, and in this machine, what we have different elements. For example, we have a CPU, we have RAM, okay, and we have network, and we also have a storage. Let's say some kind of storage, internal storage, and we can also have storage outside, or a network storage, you can say. So let's say we have some network storage. So this is a machine. So this can be a server, this can be a desktop, or this can be a laptop machine. Now we have this machine, and this is a very powerful machine. Let's say we have a very powerful machine, and we want to create, or we want to expose this machine for other people to use it. For example, we have multiple users, we have multiple applications, and we want to separate those applications, those users, and we want to dedicate some chunk of this CPU to one machine, or you can say a one virtual machine. Now to create a virtual machine, we need a hypervisor. So let's say we have a hypervisor. So this hypervisor can create virtualization instances of this machine. For example, let's distribute the CPU. Let's say we have a powerful CPU, and let's divide this. So I have 3 segments of my CPU. In the same way, I have a big RAM, a heavy RAM. I can let's say virtually I have divided it into 2 segments, and this is a network. Now this hypervisor, using this hypervisor, I can create, for example, I can create virtual instances. So this is instance 1, this is instance 2, and this is instance 3. So what are these? These are the virtual instances. These are virtual server instance. So these are the virtual server instances, and they have their own virtual CPU. So this instance will have vCPU, it will have vRAM, and it will have virtual network. So using this hypervisor, the virtual CPU is referring to this section. For example, the virtual RAM, it's accessing, for example, this segment of the RAM, and the virtual network is accessing, using the hypervisor, this network. So now this virtual CPU, now this is a complete machine, but it's a virtual machine, and it can perform as a physical machine. And so what we have segmented the CPU, RAM, and network, and this is all is managed by the hypervisor. Now the important section is the data which is managing by, let's say this is virtual machine 1, this is the virtual machine 2, and this is the virtual machine 3. Now the data which is being managed by the virtual machine 1 should be separated from the virtual machine 2, and this is also handled by the hypervisor via creating a separation between these virtual machines, and this is also managed by the hypervisor. Now what is the biggest advantage of using the hypervisor and the virtual instances? The biggest advantage is the cost. You can lower your cost, and you can create multiple instances, multiple virtual machines, and you can host multiple applications on these different virtual machines, and these will be separated by each other, and you can turn them down and spin more applications based on the capacity you have in the CPU, whatever the RAM you have, and the network capability. Now, what about the storage? For the storage, we can have an internal storage, but the hypervisor does not handle the storage actually. So we can have an internal storage, or if we have a network-based storage, what we can do is this storage can connect to the network, and via the hypervisor, we can connect it to the virtual machine. So to recap, what is a hypervisor? A hypervisor is a software application which manages the virtualization of our physical machine. So hypervisor can help us spin virtual machines, and in those virtual machines we have virtual CPUs, virtual RAM, and a virtual network, and this is all managed by the hypervisor. For the storage, we can plug the storage with the network slot, and then it's then used to route the data from the network to the storage, and from the storage to the our virtual server instances. The biggest advantage of this is we can lower our cost, and the multi-tenancy is possible. So it's a high-level view, and I hope you must have understood the basic understanding, the fundamental understanding of hypervisor, why we use it, and how this can help us. Thank you.